Welcome to the challenge. Grow the right audience with the right message. Now, I'm not going to keep you for any longer than 15 minutes because the whole purpose of this is I want to demonstrate that you know enough right now. You're wise, you're pretty enough, you're everything you need to be to get results with what you know. It is about helping you be fine-tuned, laser focused, and really clear in what you're putting out there and how you help people to get results because that's what people buy is results, the transformation. So we're going to take it step by step, and I'm going to give you nothing that doesn't look to be anything out there or new. You can get all of that on ChatGPT if you want to. I know that my clients need the help with getting the work done, staying laser focused, and being held accountable to do the things they're going to do that move them forward. And a very strategic approach to that, fine-tuned with looking at their messaging so they stand out. So I'm going to jump straight into it. We are going to look at on day one, who are you really speaking to? This is crucial. 85% of businesses fail to connect with their audience effectively. Those are the stats. That's as clear as it is. If I looked at your Instagram feed, for example, where you've got all of those windows, would I be able to clearly see instantly what you do and who you help? If I can't, it is not compelling enough and it's not going to cut through the noise. We need to be this because if not, we are just indifferent. And this is not going to get people results. If you want results, you need to take action and you need to invest in the right things and the right spaces. Otherwise, you just sink in with the crowd and you become another number. And as I said before, you've got incredible knowledge and experience that people need out there. So if you come at business with an approach of feeling salesy or pushy, then that's a disservice to the people that you can really help. The number one thing to focus on at the start is who you're speaking to. So I approach messaging thinking around how do I stand for things and talk about what I care about. We have positioning of your offers in your business, we have messaging, and then we have copy. They're all very different things serving different purposes in your business. We have to position ourselves in our market with the offers and speak to the right people. We have to convey messages that are very clear and compelling and that get attention. And then we have to have copy that helps people understand more about how we can help them and what it means to them to get them the result. So your core message and your messaging matters. Your message is the heart of the brand and it connects you with your audience, or it doesn't. So you will see that when I work with clients, I'll be getting them to focus on 3 to 4 core messages in their business. My core messages are what I do. That's my number one priority. It's the primary part of the business. So it is messaging and strategy. That's what I help businesses on. I can do it very much in the focus of coaching and mentoring, but I help people get really clear on their strategy and move their business forward. And I help them plug those gaps. I then have my storytelling message, which starts to build onto what we would call maybe primary into secondary messaging, but identifying what makes me different. I talk a lot about my corporate journey. I talk about the fact I worked for corporate for 20 years and then I left and started my own business. I didn't quite get business in the way that I needed to run my own business, so I made substantial investments. But I would talk about that transition period. Loads of people find that really challenging and they will never leave the corporate world, even though they say they want to. That level of risk is very high for lots of people. But that's why I don't predominantly work with those people in that world. I work with them once they've left corporate to build their business. But I would talk about that because it allows people to understand that like I'm going to listen to them from a place that's more empathetic. I'm going to understand their challenges and be able to help them because I've been there and I've done it. And that really helps people. And in that, you don't need to be a million miles ahead of your client. In fact, I sometimes think that can make us untouchable. So, for example, if you have a mentor, or I've had mentors where they've been earning millions into billions, like I've been in and I am in those networks, sometimes it can look like it's they're unreachable and it's untouchable, and that's not relatable. And when it comes to messaging, we have to focus on making sure it's relatable too. But I want to just take it step by step. I just want to give some help you identify my journey and what this can mean to you so you can start to unpack and get clarity on your messaging. That's the whole point of today. It's about you and your client. So the third part is we've got then what I do, corporate journey. I also talk a lot around my passion and drive for fitness and health. I have a very strong belief if you want to show up like this with great energy, confidence, be compelling, be engaged and listen to people and help them move forward, then that requires you to have the right state of mind, to be focused, to have discipline, to be beyond the motivation. So I focus a lot on my health because it helps me stay in a state that allows me to show up in the best way I can for my clients and be the best I can be. So that's a strong belief I have. Now, if people don't like health or they're not really engaged in their fitness, then it can repel people. They don't like it. That brings me on to one of the fourth messages that I have, which is I'm no BS, right? I'm no bullshit. I want to get results. I want to earn money. I have a business because I want to make profit so I can have a better life for me, my fiance, my family, have better opportunities, have more experiences, and ultimately have more time freedom to make more memories. Those are some of the things that I really am working towards. I want. I don't need them. I really want them. They're my drivers every single day. So where I mentioned around it's not motivation, it's discipline. It's these things that get me up in the morning to do what I do. I love what I do. So I stand for getting results. I'm not going to be the mentor strategist to come to a call after one where we've had some real focus, action, tangible driver set for you to come back on a call with me and say, or to meet me in person and say, haven't done those yet, and not have that backed up with some strong rationale. Because if it's made up of excuses, you're wasting my time and I'm wasting your time. And I simply don't have time for that. Time is currency, and I want to be helping more people. So by standing for these things, people won't like that. And often I'll hear people say they're quite intimidated by me on that, or that they find that that's too strong, it's not for them. That's fine. But I want to get results. And to stand out, I stand for that. So I really want you to think around having the courage to be disliked. I know people don't like me. Without being rude, I don't care. I don't need somebody else's validation. What I want is for them to get what they want and move forward. And I will give everything to the right clients who will do that. By standing for these things, I have started to attract the right clients. If I look at my list of one-to-one clients and people in the mastermind and my membership, every single one of those has the same values as me. So that's what we're going on to now. I want you to think around your values, know your audience, and speak their language. I'm going to come to speaking their language in a moment, but I want you to really understand the symptoms of their pain points. You have to be the doctor that diagnoses your patient's symptoms. It isn't enough to be woolly or surface level on, well, I just want more leads, or this is really hard. Like, that's really wishy-washy. It's not tangible enough or focused for enough. You have to know the symptoms of that. So when people say, I help people be more confident, but confident for what? So when I was in corporate, I wanted more confidence to walk into a room of that was a male-dominated environment, and I wanted to be confident to present every single month something that I was passionate about, and also have the confidence to answer those questions and not be pulled down in a male-dominated environment where it's felt really tough. I wanted to stand my own when I had um, reviews, or I would have the directors come to see me. I'd want to stand my own there, and I'd want to come across as competent. I wanted confidence to be in challenging conversations and be able to say no and stand by that. So, because I led big teams. So think around what, when someone wants something like that, you have to make it super tangible, but really get to thinking around the symptoms of their pain points. So I know that if somebody's really struggling to get leads, it is going to mean that they're not making money, which means that they're stressed because they're thinking, well, how do I pay my bills? Or how do I, like look after my children and things, that like really delve into what they're thinking around. If I want to strip it back and take a fitness one, I always use this as an example when I'm helping people on their niche. And now, with staying to topic, but if you want to work out your niche, you have to be really clear of your messaging on speaking to a market and a method. And let's take, for example, you are a fat loss coach. By saying and speaking, I'm a fat loss coach, opposed to I'm a health and fitness coach, it allows people to go, that's for me. So if you want to lose fat and you were at an event and you saw this fat loss coach say, I'm a fat loss coach and I help people to blah, 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 you would instantly be compelled more than if they'd have said they were a health coach, or like I said, a health and fitness coach, or a well-being coach, or a body strength coach. The fact they said fat loss and you think that you're fat because you can't do up your jeans, or you look in the mirror and you judge yourself because you think, oh, I've got flabby arms, chicken wings, or I think, oh, I couldn't, like I looked really fat when I went to that party the other night, and when they saw me years ago, I was really lean and skinny. And all those things are doing overdrive in your head. When that person says fat loss coach, you instantly think, I need that. I need to talk to that person. So when I go to networking events, I don't bang on and say I'm a messaging strategist. I will say I help people to stand out, break through the noise, and build authority by dialing in their messaging. What else would you like to know? So I speak to what they're thinking and their language, and this is really important. So the ways we can do this is to start to identify their pain points and their symptoms, but talk about stuff they care about. So clarity beats cleverness. Like the old dummy books you used to get, the big yellow ones where it be a dummy's guide to X. The clearer your messaging, the easier it is for your audience to understand. And if it's confusing for you to understand, it's confusing for somebody else to interpret and understand as well. So you need to act on that. And your values make you different. These are my values. So you can take these as a bit of a guide. But, I have a pure belief, and I was once told by a leader years ago that I believe too much in some people. And I said, I don't. But I believe that everybody has great potential if they put their mind to it and they can achieve what they want to. So I put family first, and sometimes that means that my business comes first to serve my family, but it helps me as a guide to make better decisions. So your values are like your moral compass in business too, and they'll help me make decisions quicker. And that's really important in business because we need to implement at speed. So start to think of your values. The bottom line is that dialing in your messaging is important, because if no one resonates with you and your stuff, no one buys. Instantly now, people know they resonate with me or not. I've been on this call for 12 minutes. That's exactly what I want to convey. So we're going to look at speaking to the right people. So we're looking at the key questions of what are their desires, what are their struggles, and what's the transformation. People will say they buy the coach and, they'll invest in you for being different. Yes, to a degree. Let's be a little bit more open-minded. They want the result. That's all anybody cares about. I want to make more money in my business to help more people. Of course, I want the nice stuff of getting to reach more people, being known for what I do, and having a great reputation for getting results. But ultimately, I want to make more money. And most people do in business. That's why we're in business. If not, we'd be running charities. And that's fine. Let's just be really clear on what we are and what we're not. So one of the ways to do this is to, again, keep business super simple. Don't get complicated. I have two lists on my Google Drive. One list is the pain points, the symptoms of what my client has as their biggest things that keep them up at night. All of that down to a T. And then I have a desires list. What do they really want? And I know the transformation that they get. I've worked on that as well, but I'm really clear on that all of the time. What's the result that they want? We can then unpack this a bit on my client feels, and that's going to be their pain points about what they want and their dreams of the transformation. That's how we can unpack this one here. But by having those lists, the way you start to build them is by writing lists about what people care about. This will really help you too. So you could have 3 lists here. Irrelevant, I just want you to get pen and paper down and start to listen to what your clients say. And this is how you do it. So I did a challenge last year, and one of my amazing clients, who is now a client off the back of this, said, messaging is my biggest challenge. That's her message right there. Look, you got it. And I used that in my content because it's something she said, so it speaks to my ideal client. My ideal client would be thinking similar things. And again, like I said, all of my ideal clients care about what I do. They've all got similar values to me, because if they didn't, we would not be aligned to work together. There would be a clash at some point. It's really important that we work with people that have similar values in life and business. So for example, say like I'm very driven, and I am willing to put in the hours to make my business a success. If somebody wants an extreme work-life balance, that's okay. But that probably is not going to be aligned to the way I operate and work for what I want, or how I would expect some of my clients to at some points. And there may be seasons where I would require my clients to do a different investment of time and energy to get results. So, for example, if we said that we're going to do a launch, their time is going to be busier around the time of launching. So I would expect that investment to change for them, right? Same as years ago when I worked in corporate, or April when it was Easter and Christmas, those are periods of times when people had to up their game a bit. It was busy. And we would, down tools on the stuff that didn't need to happen at Christmas. And we would go all in on making money in sales and having a great operation. And it was busy, it was manic, it was fun, but it was hard work at times. And we put in different hours. And then in January, February, they'd be able to take some time back because of the hours they put in. So there are seasons in business and there are times when things change. But going back to here, listen to what they say. If you're on sales calls right now, you have got gold dust. If you are going to networking events or you've got a membership or you're in spaces where your ideal client is, listen to what they say. Listen to what they're sharing they're struggling with. Listen to what they want. Like I worked with a client the other week on looking at productivity. It's a bit boring. It's the same as when I sell accountability. Nobody really wants to be held accountable. They need it, they don't want it. And we unpacked a bit that it was beyond the productivity. What people were talking around is they wanted clarity, peace of mind, and they wanted to declutter their life and have a simple, structured life. So that's what we leaned in on. We didn't go down the walks of I help you with productivity or time management because it's boring. What they want is they want to be really clear on having a simple life, feeling that things are structured and they've got the routines in place, but they've decluttered their life. That's what they wanted. That was the language they were using at the time. So we use that in our content because it helps us be relatable and it resonates with that person. And that's so important. You have to do it with your audience. And this is what we do in a messaging system. It is all around taking it step by step. This is what I work with my clients on. You have to have clarity. That's why ideal client work is never a tick box done. The same as messaging isn't. If you grow your business to 50 grand, 100 grand, £1 million, £1 billion, you are at points on that journey going to have to focus on your messaging again. I think the ones that are losing out right now are the ones where they think ideal client's just a tick box and it's done. You should never stop being curious about your ideal client and knowing every single thing about them. You change, I change. So therefore your messaging changes because what your client wants will change. So to come at this thinking it's a tick box and I've done it is going to be a place where you then lose that focus on what your ideal client wants. Never ever detach from that. Listen to them. They have the gold dust. So if you're ever stuck for a question in your business, I will often say to my clients, your clients have the answers to this. I don't necessarily on some things, and I'll be honest on that. Your client has that gold dust now. Go and ask them. The same as I do. And it works perfectly. So your message is the heart of your brand. This is why we work on first positioning your personal branding. And then we have to look at your ideal client. We can't do the offers work if we don't know who your offer's for. So that's why that comes secondary to knowing your ideal client. This is why we started with this today. You have to build trust and be seen as the go-to expert. So in every business, we would talk about the funnel, attracting, converting, delivering. I am super on converting and delivering, making sales. No problem doing that. I have to work on attracting an audience, as most of us do. And that's okay. It's about us identifying where's our strengths and where's our opportunities. And that's my opportunity. Hence why I want my talk and I'm doing something now to show you you have to be building your audience every single day and be obsessed with that. And then you have to build trust with that audience because they'll go through the funnel. They're not aware at the top potentially the problem they've got. Lots of the people who come into my world and meet me at an event, etc., won't know they've got a problem with their messaging. It is once they've listened to me, they start to see what I share and the content helps them move from A to B with what I share. And then they come in to convert. Oh, Natalie could be somebody that could help me on messaging. Who else is doing it? The same as I was in this boat a few months back, where I was thinking around, I need to do Facebook ads. I need somebody to help me. Who's out there doing it really well? And I went and did my due diligence, my research, and then I found that person and I've invested. So it's that funnel that is so super simple, but again, we can make it really complicated. So we need to start here where we're thinking around how do we build authority, be known as a go-to expert, and position ourselves and our services as a no-brainer, irresistible offer for somebody to buy. We then bring them into the funnel and we build that like and trust with them. We have to be likable. And that's where the values part comes in and talking about things that people care about, showing we're the person that's been there, done that, we get it, we can help them. And then making that offer that's going to help them solve that problem. That's what they buy, the transformation. So if you've got any questions on what I've shared today, I want you to come and ask me directly. You can send me an email. You can always reach out to me at natalie@nataliepots.co.uk. You can like, subscribe to this YouTube channel. And any questions, just make sure you ask them. You don't ask, you don't get. Hopefully, this has added value. I'm going to be bouncing back with day 2 tomorrow, looking all around how we start some storytelling as well over the next few days and really get that clarity to start making some sales too, because that's really important in business. I'm going to leave it there and I will see you on day 2.